if you go against the war machine, this is what happens to you. You're a Russian. This is what's happening. This is literally what's happening. We're announcing our live dates for 2019. We're going to Chicago and Portland, Seattle, New York, all over.
Good afternoon. Hope you all had a wonderful, like I said earlier, weekend. Sorry, let me fix the camera better. So we can have a better view, better angle at me. Okay. All right. Hey guys. Good afternoon. As you can see today, we're going to talk about polarities in astrology. And I know you'd like to know exactly what is polarities. What are polarities in astrology? I'm going to give you the Webster's Dictionary or the astrological one. All right, polarities in astrology. And according to Wikipedia, zodiac signs are associated with negative and positive signs. Hey, Chicana. Nice to have you. I don't want you to think that if your sign is negative, meaning you think negative or there's negative connotations towards it, or if your sign is positive, that you are all positive. It's not the same in astrology. It's not even close. All right? Now, polarities, you can either be negative or positive, like they said. The fire signs are positive. Fire signs are positive. So are, believe it or not, the air signs. I know. It's crazy, isn't it? The negative signs are water and earth. So let me explain to you what a negative and positive or polarities are. Sorry. So we could still have, take in mind now, sorry, I am mixing up with polarities. Anyway, take in mind the opposite signs. If I'm an Aries, the polarity to me is what sign? The opposite sign of Aries. Aries is the sign that focuses on the self. It focuses on its personality within itself. Which sign is more focused? Let me try to get this perfectly straight. What sign would you say is focused on the other person? It would be the opposite, which would make it the polarity. Any sign that's 180 degrees any sign that's 180 degrees from each other is considered its polarity. So, the opposite of Aries, which is focused on the self, is Libra. Remember we also talked about how Sun in Aries is exalted and it's in fall in the sign of Libra. Right. Yeah, sorry, it's getting all kind of messages on my WhatsApp. when you look at the polarities of them, they grow in opposition. Now, what that means is that they have a tug and pull within each other. This is why, even though they're opposite each other, they also need each other's energy in order to stay balanced. Aries is too focused on the self. If it's too focused on the self, would forget and not even acknowledge the other person. Yeah, me. Good night. So Aries, focus on the self, needs that balance, which is Libra. This is why I guess it's, to some people, sun sign astrology works for them, because they get to see the core of that person. The core of that person is their Aries. Yeah, they're Aries, and they're about themselves. And this person is a Libra, so they're more focused on relationships and the other person, and that gives them the balance. Why, you'd say? Because Aries gives that the Libra person, or the Libra energy, not the Libra person, the Libra energy, the ability to see oneself or itself, or to focus on itself, because that person is focused on themselves. Then the Libra person be like, you know what? I've been focusing on. Let me start focusing on myself. That's how the polarity works. But the saying of opposite attracts, this could definitely be so. And this can be with other signs, other planets. This could be with the moon, and even the moon could be just like that. Now, we're gonna look at some of you guys' charts and see who has polarities of certain planets, and see what is the yin and yang. So that was the first polarity, is Aries and Libra. The next one would be Taurus and Scorpio. Taurus and Scorpio. The sun sign, or the trait of Taurus, is more stable, is more focused, it's more holding on to, slow and methodical. It's focused on its own wealth, its own sense of power. Scorpio, even the sign itself, is focused on other person's money, or other people's money, or other people's assets, or the partner's assets. There's a slight personality difference between the both of them. One is more subtle and explodes. It takes a lot for a Taurus to get angry. And when it does, there's no slowing down. There's none. For the Taurus energy, a Taurus sun, whether it be moon in Taurus, whether it be Mercury in Taurus, sun in Taurus, all the personal violence. For Scorpio, they're seething from within. They are an atomic bomb waiting to explode. So they may seem on the surface very calm and collected, but they're plotting your demise slowly, not even slowly, instantly. So that polarity of, learning to be more receptive and be more relaxed and allowing people to be, a soft nature, is polarized. Well, the polarity of it is the Scorpio energy, which is more intense, mysterious, dark. When Taurus is more sensual, Scorpio is more sexual. When Taurus is more, the five senses, Scorpio is the other senses, the sixth sense, the senses that goes beyond. And this is the polarity. Taurus brings Scorpio down to earth. When Taurus is being in the mud, rises the Taurus energy. This is the polarity of Taurus and Scorpio. So Aries naturally rules the first house. So it's considered the first sign. Then opposite that is Libra, which is the seventh sign. The second sign, or that rules the second house, is Taurus. And it goes clockwise. So the opposite to that, the second house is eighth house, or the eighth sign, which is Scorpio. And it polarizes each other. Let me give you some examples. So let me read this article for you. Taurus and Scorpio are zodiac signs whose driving interest is wealth and stability. It already started off like that. That's all the Scorpios will focus on is wealth. And Taurus, stability. That goes along with it. For the big picture, let's think about wealth as all kinds of assets, from hard ones like money to intangible ones like natural talents. Taurus and Scorpio are known as polarity. They're opposite zodiac signs. They have similarities, with both being yin, fixed and stubborn, as I'll get to that later. Both are to do with creativity, security, control, or personal and shared wealth, and patience. Patience is another trait of Scorpio and Taurus. Scorpios can be patient, or they're wherever the Scorpio is, this or Taurus, this is where they experience patience. But sensual Taurus is mellow compared to the legendary passions of Scorpio. Unless the bull is enraged, and then it's another story. Like I said, Taurus can be slow to anger, but when they are, in any aspect, whether it be Mars, Venus, whether it be in love, in action, whether it be the core of them, which is the sun, whether it be their emotions, moon, whether it be their thoughts, Mercury, when that area is upset, whatever those planets rule, it's very hard keeping them, subdued. The Taurus mission is to root in an established earthly form. It follows Aries' impulsive life force of spring. Taurus has instincts to settle into a place of vocation and grow steadily to build a prosperous life. This is what Taurus wants. It doesn't matter how slow or how long it takes. Once they build slowly, this is the energy of Taurus. And this can be seen in Mercury, the way of thinking. With Taurus and Mercury, then you'd see them taking their time to make decisions. Their thought process is maybe a little bit more slower, but very methodical. And they don't mind building up too. Right, so it's a steady growth. The big difference with Scorpio is the urge to merge, to share resources, with the idea that the creative union will bear even more fruit. If Taurus is about the shape of things, the form, Scorpio shifts that shape. And to do that, uses their own resources and sometimes others as well. So when Taurus is focused on their own resources, Scorpio is focused on the union's resources, meaning you and Mike coming together, doing this, and we can be powerful. So this is why when you have a person that has Venus in Scorpio, or even Mercury in Scorpio, their moon in Scorpio, it doesn't matter, whatever personal planet. And the personal planets are the sun, the moon, the Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. Mars, Jupiter and Saturn are, they're not personal planets. But those planets, once you have Scorpio in those signs, in those planets actually, they tend to want to merge. So somebody who has Mercury in Scorpio, like myself, would like to merge people's thoughts. So they're like a combination of ideas coming together to make one big thing. You know, there's somebody who has Moon in Scorpio. They want to merge with somebody emotionally. You know, because the Moon rules the emotions. If somebody who has Sun in Scorpio, they want to merge with you physically. That's what makes a Scorpio sexual. It's even worse if they have Mars in Scorpio. If they have Venus in Scorpio, they want to merge with that person relationship-wise. When Taurus is slow and steady, Scorpio is all or nothing. That's the opposite of those two. When Taurus is slow and steady, Scorpio is all or nothing. So the person who has Scorpio, Mars and Scorpio would feel all or nothing when it comes to their actions, their ambition, their drive. When it comes to war, they go hard. Same thing with Venus and Scorpio. They want all or nothing in their relationships. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If they want you, they want you. There's no in-betweens. As opposed to when Venus is in Taurus, this person may take their time to make a relationship with you. They may be like, hold on, wait. I know we're very good physically, but give me some time for you to take precedence in my life. This is how Venus and Taurus operates. I hope you guys are seeing the difference, the polarity in those two signs. Everybody's quiet today. What happened? So I apologize for saying that all polarities are, yin and yang negative. That's fine. But Scorpio and Taurus are actually yin, magnetic. Taurus and Scorpio are both considered negative, which is simply a way of saying they are receptive, or yin. Being receptive is considered being negative, and not negative in, how it's been connotated as, you have negative traits and negative. No, it means being more receptive, being in, bringing in positive meaning out. So they ponder how these signs brood and quietly conspire to draw to them what they want in love and everything else. Think about that. And they slowly do this. You know what? I'm gonna move the camera over here. Tell me if you can see me just as good. All right, awesome. Okay, so both of these keep their aims close to the chest. And this is the way of protecting, the things that they desire before they broadcast it. So Taurus and Scorpio will keep silent on what they are desiring, going after. You won't necessarily get from a Taurus who has Mercury and Taurus what you're thinking. They hold that until they feel a sense of security. Scorpio is the same way. If you're Mercury and Scorpio, you don't necessarily give off what you're thinking. It's sort of a thing this until I'm really, really sure. Really, 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 really sure. And this is the way of protecting themselves. Being feminine sign in astrology, there is a magnetic quality. And holding things of this Sorry about that. That was a call that came in. It was a call that came in. Okay. So being a feminine sign in astrology is a magnetic quality, and they sort of hold things in. This gets extreme when Taurus becomes possessive, to the point of stifling their own growth with all the heaviness and stuff. It's almost the same way with Scorpio. Scorpio has that in common. They can be very possessive of a person after they feel a sense of receptivity. However, Scorpio has its own habits of holding when the notion of shared wealth becomes too controlled. Scorpio gets into the business of others, and sometimes to a harmful degree, when the Taurus energy is more so, I'm gonna let you be how you are. So this yin, as you can see, we didn't go over the yin and yang, but we will. I will explain this as I'm going over the polarities. And like I said before, they rule the second house and the eighth house respectively, and they are opposite to each other. Any questions on Scorpio's energy and Taurus energy before I move on? Shekinah, aren't you a Scorpio sun? Not Scorpio, Taurus sun. Take a look at your chart. Right. Just taking a look at it. Oh, that's the only planet you have in Taurus. The only planet you have in Taurus. Mostly your stuff are in Libra. In Aries, Aquarius, and Capricorn. That's about right? So the opposite sign of yours is Scorpio. Of your sun sign, that is. Of your moon. That's okay. No, I don't know if it's a delay. I had to I don't know, Ami, if it's a delay. I had to, a call came in. I had to set my settings to do not disturb. I was getting called while I was having a session. So yeah. So the opposite, if we want to go back onto to Aries, Shekinah, be looking at your chart. You have Mercury in Aries and Venus in Aries, and your ascendant is in Aries. The opposite of that would be what sign? The polarity of Aries is what we just talked about this a few moments ago. What's the opposite sign of Aries? Shekinah, we just talked about this. The opposite sign of Aries is Libra. If Aries is more focused on the self, Libra is more focused on the other person. Don't forget it. The opposite of Taurus is Scorpio. The opposite of Scorpio is Taurus. Right. Say, oh yeah, Libra. Ha ha. Very funny. We're going to move on to the third sign, which is Gemini. Gemini is the third sign, and it naturally rules the third house. And the opposite of that, or the polarity of that, is Sagittarius. I'm going to use Ambi as an example. Since Ambi has Sun, yeah, it's Libra. Thank you, Abby. Amazon, you have hey, be careful, don't text. I'm not gonna worry, you just listen. Okay, just press OK until you reach when you reach safe. Alright? No need to text. I don't want no accidents. Don't. Okay? So your Sun, your Mercury, your Venus are sitting in the sign of Gemini. As a matter of fact, give a stellium of Juno, Chiron, Sun, Mercury, Venus. All of them are sitting in the sign of Gemini. The opposite sign of that is Sagittarius. The opposite sign of that is Sagittarius. And let me give you an example or the reason why we have that. The polarities of that. Gemini and Sagittarius are the local sprite and wandering sage of the zodiac, respectively. Did you hear that? They are the local sprite, which is Gemini, and the wandering sage of the zodiac, which is Sagittarius. They are polarity, which is a unique current of opposites that can be experienced as extremes. Gemini is alert to the near happenings, taking mental notes at all times. So, you don't mean to say it, but the energy of Gemini is pretty nosy. They want to know everything. So they're looking around, talking to you and just noticing everything. That's just the natural energy of Gemini itself. Sagittarius scan for the bigger pictures, and they only see the bigger pictures, and is preoccupied with the future and distant aims. So when Gemini sees smaller details, Sagittarius sees big, prosperous future. When the Gemini could see that the Sagittarius energy is about to step in a pile of shit, the Gemini have already seen that. Because the Sagittarius is so focused on the goal where they're going, and Gemini is focused on the journey itself. They get to see the small details. Gemini and Sagittarius are opposite in the zodiac, which makes them polarities. However, they are similar, both being mutable signs. You're seeing a trend now. They all have what we call the same energies. So Sagittarius both of them are mentally agile. Gemini and Sagittarius are known as intelligence in motion. Somebody who has Sagittarius traits, Sagittarius placements in their chart will have a natural air intelligence. Because remember now, Sagittarius rules higher knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Gemini rules local knowledge, understanding, thought process. What makes them a duo? There's also an easy collaboration or a collaborative play between the two, making them natural partners. Besides having in common being mutable, which is changeable, actually. Both are positive or masculine signs, meaning they are yang. Yin is the negative or feminine. Yang is the positive or masculine. So they can be unless the chart say completely different. Socially outgoing and active. Once you understand that, let me know. So let me give you an example of Gemini energy and Sagittarius energy. Gemini, if you have Mercury in Gemini, like I said, your thought process is quick. You're thinking about the next step and the next step and the next step and the next step, and your mind just continuously goes. It's just a people that have Mercury in Gemini they may find it hard to sleep. Insomnia is common with people who have Mercury in Gemini. Because always need to know small details. Focusing on the small details will have them to be their mind, their thought process, which is ruled by Mercury, to have them to always be thinking. Little small details, filling up their subconscious mind with small details. When Sagittarius, somebody has Mercury in Sagittarius, don't want to see all them small details, man. Just give me the big picture. As a matter of fact, somebody who has Mercury in Sagittarius find it hard to study and read books without pictures. Why? I want to see the big picture. You're just giving me these words, and those are small, and I got to read it word for word. You nobody get time for that. Those are quotes from Mercury in Sagittarius. The visual learners. We can see this trait when it comes to the moon. Moon and Gemini can be very nosy. They want to, emotionally, they feel better when they know more. Remember now, the moon rules emotions. So moon and Gemini would feel emotionally stable once they know more and once they're constant movement. So why am I calling? Hey, Mercury and Gemini is calling you out. Oh, hey. You say you see that in both sides, both Gemini and I can't say I don't like sun signs. I don't like when people base astrology on sun signs. What trait are you talking about that you see in both Gemini and Sagittarius that you're talking about? Mercury and Gemini are studious. No, Mercury and Gemini are studious. They actually like reading. They like words. They're word Smithsonian. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the core. Oh, that's what you're talking about. You're talking about those things in the sun. Yeah. See, the thing is, maybe those persons who you met, take in mind now, Mercury, excuse me, I'm a little stuffed. Mercury is very, very close to the sun. It would only be one sign away. So there's a possibility that if you have sun in Gemini, that your Mercury could be in Gemini. Or your Mercury could either be in the next sign over, or the next sign this way. The next sign this way, or the next sign this way. The one before that is Taurus. It could be in Taurus. Or it could be in Gemini. Or the Mercury could be in the next sign over, which is Cancer. You see? So it goes. So the people who you've met may have Mercury and Gemini still. Yeah, so Sagittarius energy is more focused on the big picture. Somebody who has moon in, like say, person who has moon in Gemini, they want to know everything, every small detail. Every small detail. They like moving up and down. short distance. Here. You know, that's how they are. It's just, they feel a sense of stability just knowing small shit. They're mostly nosy, most small details. Sagittarius moon wants to know things that are far-reaching. They want to learn different languages. They want to know about different cultures. They want to know about things that are a little bit more deeper than just the surface. And that's the polarity between moon in Sagittarius and moon in Gemini. It's almost the same way with Venus. If that Venus in Gemini. A person who has Venus in Gemini wants to know small details. So they're questioning and questioning and talking and questioning, and they want to communicate. They want to talk because they want to know more. So they're going to ask more questions because they want every small detail about what's your day, how was your day, what did you do, where did you go, how, yeah. So that is Venus in Gemini. Venus and Sagittarius don't really want to care about them small things. They want to know, how was your day? Was your day good? Okay, fine, awesome. Big picture. And that is it. That's how it is in their relationships. Because remember, whatever Venus rules, this is where, especially the sign is sitting in. Like we're talking about Gemini and Sagittarius would have. So that's that polarity. Someone who has Venus and Sagittarius has a lot to learn from somebody who has Venus and Gemini. And somebody who has Venus and Gemini has a lot to learn from somebody who has Venus and Sagittarius. The polarity brings each other together. It could be annoying. However, there's growth within the friction, that polarity. Makes sense what I'm saying to you guys? Both can be sapiosapient. That's how it happens. It's the same way with Mars and Gemini and Mars and Sagittarius. Mars and Sagittarius, Mars and Gemini is actions, needs quick thought processing, always need to know. So they are on the move, on the go, mind always going, and they are driven to know. Take in mind that Mars also rules their sex drive as well. So these people are more attracted sexually to your mind. You have to get to their mind in order to get to them physically. They are very tactical because they know all the small details of what they're going to do. Remember now, the small needing to know. Mars in Sagittarius is a little bit more different. They are more turned on by your higher ideals of life, your deeper thinking. Are you sports-like? This is awesome. Because sports, or 2 feet, or standing on 2 feet sports, like basketball or football, and like baseball, are things that they're focused on. Sagittarius rules those as well, believe it or not. So a woman that has Mars and Sagittarius will be actually attracted to a man that has physical physique, plays sports, very philosophical, just have high ideals. They also could be attracted to men that are foreign and speak different languages. As opposed to a woman has Mars and Gemini, is more attracted to a local person. You see the difference? That's that polarity. Let's take a look at the next polarity, which is Cancer and Capricorn. But first of all, before we move, any questions about that polarity? I'll just get the questions when you're ready. I don't know how that happened, but somebody called me just now. You guys still there? Let's take a look at the polarity of Cancer and Capricorn. All right. So looking at the polarities of Cancer and Capricorn, these are, I'm sorry, I don't know. Somebody called me just now, and I thought I had this on. I don't know how that call got through, because I had this on Do Not Disturb. I don't know how that happened. So I'm sorry, guys. That's why it froze just now. So Cancer and Capricorn are known as yin. They are positive. I mean, they are negative, or what we call feminine energy. And listen, this has nothing to do with a woman being negative or has nothing to do with, astrologers taking woman as being negative. Don't even, no, it's not. So they're both yin. Cancer and Capricorn are opposite on the zodiac wheel, making them appear to ponder. They swing on poles of emotional and earthly intelligence, and homely versus world center of gravity. So when Cancer is focused on the home, guess what Capricorn is focused on? The world. It's imagery outside of the home. All right, so if you have the big energies of in one of these two zodiac signs, the other side may seem out of your depth or scope. So on the surface, we talk about Capricorn being a go-getter. Climbing a social ladder, being seen and known in these areas. That's just the sun sign. But wherever you have the Capricorn energy is where that person would slowly, doesn't matter, they will climb. Capricorn is naturally ruled by Saturn. And the sign of Capricorn is worried about its image. Remember now. It's how the world sees them that matters. Cancer is focused on the home. So their worries is about feeding and nurturing. You see the opposite? It's like the father and the mother of old times. Let me give you some, so that, think about the father going out on his business trip saying, hey, I'm heading out to work. Give me a kiss, honey bun. And she's like, okay, baby, I'll have dinner waiting for you in the evening when you come home. I'll have those nice warm blankets. You say your daughter is a Capricorn, and at 6, her image means a lot to her. Right. That's the core of who she is, the sun. Most Capricorns are like that. So they have that energy of the basic traits of Capricorn. Yeah, that's very important. to a Capricorn is how they are seen. This is why Capricorns throw the biggest parties. You ever realize around January, December, Capricorns all around the world, not all of them, but the majority of them that have majority planets in the sign of Capricorn, especially the Venus, Mercury, Sun, Moon in Capricorn, will do their best to make sure that the world sees who they are, knows that they can put stuff together. So let me give examples of both. Oh, and Cancer is more nurturing, more homely. Give examples in the planets. Like you explained, your daughter has Sun in Capricorn, and she's worried about, how people see her and her image and stuff like that. That's understood. A Sun in Cancer is more, well, I should say Sun. They have more of a nurturance. They feel a sense of. See, my daughter's a Capricorn. She has Sun in Capricorn. My son has his Moon in Capricorn. Those two have the biggest personalities or biggest egos of my kids. I know about that personally. So when you look at that, you'll see that. That's just how it is. Mercury, let's look at Moon in Capricorn. Somebody who has Moon in Capricorn feels emotionally secure when they have an image of themselves. Oh gosh, we may have to switch to my camera on my laptop because my battery is dying. Okay, just letting you know. So give me a second, let me take a look to see what I can do. So you're going to see another link. I'm going to close this one up because I'm on 15% on this one. I'm going to do a video from my laptop, okay? So I'm going to close this one out and I'm going to do the same thing, polarities. Next.